Yo, what's happening YouTube? My name's Jamie Meat, and today we're taking a look at another Digimon deck profile, and the one that we're going to be looking at today is the original bad guy, the villain deck, Rookie Rush. So, what made it such a villainous deck? Back in the day when the original set came out, well, I say that, I don't think any of us in the UK got to play in stores with the original set. I think it just jumped straight to 1.5, but I'd bought all my what it 0 or set one, whatever it was, the first lot of cards they brought out. I looked at Wassy Play's video and I just built the deck card for card, and I entered the tournament 1 week after the rules had changed with the pandemic, and I was fortunate enough to win with the deck. And my, do you realize quick that people do not like this deck at all? Like, a lot of people will say it doesn't require skill and lots of other very mean things. It can be quite hard sitting there playing Rookie Rush sometimes. I think security control players probably know what I'm on about right now. I think they might actually be the new bad guy, if we are honest. Speaking of security control, that's probably the deck list that this one struggles against most. So if you've got a lot of security control at your locals, this probably isn't the deck list to go with. But if you've got a Gabu Bonds heavy locals, this is definitely one to go for. I managed to win a tournament with this, and I versed Gabu Bonds. I'm tempted to say Jessmon and Beelstarmon, and I think another Rookie Rush player as well. And yeah, the matches went smooth. I had a lot of control over what my opponent were doing, and when I felt like I could go for game, it went exactly how I wanted it to go. Didn't have much problem with blockers as well, and I'm going to go into why that is in a second. So, some of the basics: you go with the Upamon as your egg, and you get yourself down to 3 security. And the reason you do that is because you're wanting to activate some effects that come in your deck, especially this being able to draw a card from being on 3 security. You also, you can, at any point, you can use Magnadramon when you're at 3 or less to be able to recover 2, and this makes a nasty combination with Bushy. You can go for game with this. If you can't finish them off, and you might die in the next turn, and they've not got many cards or anything on the field, you can drop this, heal 2. I know it costs a lot, but you're hoping that they can't get rid of it, or that they'll have to spend a lot of memory to get rid of it, and you've still got the advantage. Maybe you've got a load of rookies on the field still, and you know they're probably going to get rid of them instead of this. And then when you attack, you can play 1 level 3 Digimon from your hand, and that's when you use your Bushy and you go for game. You can of course go for game with Bushy whenever you want at any point if they've left themselves in a situation where you can use Blinding Light, where you trash the top security card and you gain 2 memory. If they put you on, let's say, 3, and you use this, you'll go up to 5. You can drop this and you can attack straight away because it's got rush. Sorry if I'm explaining some game mechanics. I'm starting to think maybe I should explain in more detail some of the cards in case new players watching. I assume that when people are looking up these specific deck types on YouTube, they are experienced players just looking for a list to play. You know, maybe they're interested in Rookie Rush, and hi if you are, you're one of my people, and you know, you're excited to see a new take from X1 on Rookie Rush. I'm going to tell you now, there's no X1 cards in this deck, and I won an X1 tournament with it. It's great. I can't find any new cards in X1 that I could benefit from at the moment. I am open to it. Like, I thought maybe emergency shutdown program if you changed it with something else, but you end up, it's really not good enough to factor in. It goes against the kind of idea of rushing and attacking and things like that. But what I will say about this deck is what you have to do is you have to build up your board, and then you spiral to get rid of their board. And eventually what you're doing is all these little cards that you're removing stuff with, and you're getting your draw power with your Lotmon, because it's important to see Lotmon early. You want to see it ideally in turn 1. If you get it, that's great. And then you play it, and its on play is that you can look at the top card of your security stack, and if you add it to your hand, you can draw 1. That's 2 cards for the cost of 3. And then, if you're lucky enough for it to still be alive, you can evolve 8mon on the top, and all of a sudden you've got all that advantage and an 8k DP card. that can go over any of their blockers and kill a lot of the cards, and it probably survives in security. Another thing that I'd like to point out is I found a lot of success with acid injection, and you don't see it very often in decks. I might add any more. I don't think I saw it much in BT6. I think it's because Lord Nightmon, it stuck around and people still do play it. I think it came 29th, if I remember right, in the Europe final over the weekend. But I think you're probably not seeing acid injection because you're not seeing as much yellow, green, Rookie Rush and Lord Nightmon. And you get the odd shine player, especially at my locals. I think there could be about 2 maybe. There's definitely a couple of Lord Nightmon players. And yeah, but in this deck, I found acid injection to be awesome. If I can't activate the Picmon effect here, I'll use acid injection to get rid of something on their board, get myself down to 3, attack with Picmon so I can get that draw power. But being able to just trash the top of your security and minus 5k DP to something, it's insane. You're getting rid of a lot of 5k blockers, and when you run into Mechanarimon, which is a problem for this deck, all your cards are pretty much going to be able to swing over the top of it. And if they have to block it, let's say you're desperate and you're swinging with a Starmons, it's going to die. So you're getting rid of the Mechanarimon. It's probably not going to... You're probably not swinging that. You've probably evolved an 8mon or a Terraemon on top of it, and you'll be fine. But yeah, as I say, the idea of this deck is to just build your board up, spiral, and remove. And what I found it to be sort of like a mistake to go too soon. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to play cards down and just attack for the sake of attacking. Like, I mean, it sounds funny, doesn't it? Rookie Rush, and you're sort of encouraging people not to rush. The idea is that you wanting to build up a presence so that you can use your spiral, clear the board, and when they are attacking your security, they're hitting spirals, they're hitting Wyvern's Breath, and you're getting rid of a lot of stuff just from emitting your security, your hope at the very least. And then when you've built up your presence, you can go start working away at getting rid of the security. And if you're attacking with 8mons, you're probably going to survive, and they've got problems they have to deal with in their turn, which is what you want. One thing I will say though, it does struggle with, like, black is difficult because you have cards like Ultimate Flare still, and the Iron Fisted Onslaught is a bit of a pain, because if you look, the 6 play cost of these 2 cards, when you've built up your board presence and these are on, if you've got, and this happened to me recently, if you've got 3 or 4 of these on, they can get rid of all of them with the 1 card. Nightmare. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a really, really solid deck, I feel. And yeah, if you're in the market to try Rookie Rush out, I reckon that this is the deck that you want to go for. So give it a try and let me know what you think. I haven't gone through every card, and I'm not even sure if I've effectively shown you every card, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a link in the description of this video, and you can just check out the deck list yourself and you can build it and give it a try. One more little thing, I would prefer to have 4 Wyvern's Breath, but I didn't have the extra 1, so I went for the 2 acid injections, and I went with Magnadramon in as well. And I'm not even sure what I'd take out of this version of the deck, but I'm sure it's manageable, and I would highly recommend having the 4. One of the guys that I played with at the locals, he likes to call it consequence. Like, you have to have consequence in your security, and he loves this idea of having the 4 Wyvern's Breath. You know, you've got 8 very deadly cards in your security, and then you'd be surprised, like Magnadramon, when it comes up in your security, is killing stuff as well. So, you know, you've got a lot of things that can slow your opponent down, and it's definitely what you want it to happen. And in my opinion, this is a really, really good deck to go against, like Gabubons, Jessmon, what's the other deck that seems to struggle? Beelstarmon, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's the big purple card where you can play level 7 option cards. Really solid matchups against them, and give it a go. Let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy this deck profile. Thank you so much for listening, and just before I go, I'm making a comic book soon, and it's launching next week, and we've got some really big surprises on the way, and I think that if you like comic books, you're really going to like it. If you like anime and manga, you're definitely going to like it. It's called Bee Mecha, and it's currently loading. That's embarrassing. Right, there we go. It's called Bee Mecha, and it's about mecha versus kaiju, and it's set in Leeds. I'm a Yorkshire lad myself, and I'm so excited. The artwork is incredible. You guys are going to love this, and we've got some very special day one rewards. They're going to be limited edition, so I'd suggest clicking that notify button on Kickstarter if you're interested and giving it a shot, see what you think. Have a little look at some of the preview art and some of the cool rewards. We've got a really high profile artist that we're announcing in about 45 minutes, if I'm being honest. So on that note, maybe follow me on Twitter at JamieMeWrites or Instagram again at JamieMeWrites. And I'd love to hear from you as well. Please do leave some comments in the comment section as well. I like hearing your ideas and suggestions. If you have got ways to make some of these decks better that I'm talking about, please get in touch. I'm the kind of guy, I like looking at these decks on, you know, I'm a net decker, I think they call it, and I like looking at the decks and I like making my own little alterations, getting feedback from people and adding cards to some of these decks to make them better. That'd be so cool. Like, I struggled for a really long time to make Gabu Bonds work, and there were a really awesome deck profile on here. It was the first video that I did on Digimon. I'll link that again in the description, and oh man, that just helped me so much. It was fantastic. And then I made some little edits myself with Mechanarimon, and I managed to win a tournament with that one as well. Really cool. But yeah, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, like as well if you want me to do more videos like this. Thank you so much. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and it's a great time, and I absolutely love the Digimon game, so I'd love to build a little community around playing Digimon. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thank you and goodbye.